Welcome to the Happy Healthy Chico podcast. I'm Dr. Shane Smith. Come join us as we explore insightful conversations, expert advice, and practical tips on how to live your best life. Let's embark on this journey to wellness together. Hey everybody, Dr. Shane again with another episode of Happy Healthy Chico. Welcome back. With me today is my new friend Ike of Ike's Sandwich Shop. You might have noticed a little store down on, I think, right on the corner of 5th and I, right?
Yeah, right on the corner of 5th and Ivy.
Yeah, and it's an old local hangout spot for me when I went to college, but now we've got a great sandwich shop, and it's a donut shop as well, right?
It's the very first Ike's Donuts.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
And my training grounds.
Yeah, it's a good thing. So I went down there a little while ago with my daughter and got a couple donuts, superb, So welcome to Chico. First of all, your store here has been here now for how long?
We're about to have the 8-year anniversary.
Wow!
At the end of the month.
No kidding. And donuts. How did you go from sandwiches? Because you've got a lot of shops all over the place. What inspired you to do donuts?
Okay, so this is probably a lesson for everybody out there that's doing something, and they feel like they can't go and take detours or chances. Mm-hmm. So here I am, a very successful sandwich place. We just opened up our 100th location, and I thought, well, what else would I do? And I really love dessert, and I was thinking about making cakes. And I used to own a bakery in San Francisco a long time ago.
Okay.
And I was like, well, I really like pies, I really like cakes, and I really like donuts. And I thought, man, I really wish I could have a donut shop. And I heard myself in my own head going, oh, but you don't know about like all these things, the negative talk that probably every single human has about something. And I thought, well, hey, once upon a time I didn't even know how to open up a sandwich shop, and I did all right with that.
Yeah.
So it was a couple reasons. One, I really love donuts.
Yeah.
And two, I didn't want to talk, like, the idea that I don't know how to open up a sandwich shop shouldn't have been a reason for me to not open up a donut shop. So I just decided to study up on it, like see how to do it. I know I like to eat, and I just thought I could figure out how to open up a donut shop,
for sure,
like I figured out how to open up a sandwich shop 17 years ago.
Yeah. And
so that's why I did it.
Love it.
But mainly because I love to eat donuts.
Yeah. No, that's a great, you might as well have a business that supports your habits, right?
Yep.
So, well, we went down there, like I said, my daughter and I, and they're absolutely delicious. And then I think Ike's being pretty humble here. Like, I didn't know how many locations you had. Like, was it 78 in California? I tried to count the website. And then you guys are in Arizona, I think, and Nevada, and Idaho.
Not Idaho. We're Colorado.
Colorado, that's what it is.
Utah,
mm-hmm.
Texas, and we got one in Michigan.
Yeah.
So 7 states right now. We're about to announce our 8th state.
Okay. All right. We'll keep that under wraps until...
Well, I don't know when we're going to announce it, so it's kind of like one of the, because we did a contest around it, so I don't want to like say it and somebody's like, knows the answer. Because there's like 43 states for them to choose from.
Right. Yeah, very good. Well, yeah, amazingly successful sandwich shop entrepreneur right here. And again, when I was looking up Ike, I didn't know. Like a friend of mine introduced us, and he's like, you got to get to know Ike. He's a cool guy. I'm like, okay. So we reached out, and then later I actually Googled you, and I was like, oh, it's a big business. Like, Ike is killing it in the sandwich biz. And I think it's because from what I've seen on your social media, you're just a cool guy. Like, I think I see you in the shops. I see you working. I see you making sandwiches still. Not that that's your primary job, but you are in this business. Like, and I think that you support your owners. And let me back up. Is it a franchise? Are they all yours? Like, how does your
So
team
right now
run?
there are 9 franchise / licensed units.
Okay.
And all the rest I own. So I own 110-ish, maybe 11, 12, somewhere in that range.
Uh-huh.
And there's 9 that are franchised. So almost all of them are not franchised.
Understood. Yeah. Well, I just see you being hyper involved in the success of every one of those shops. And I don't know how you do what you do. You travel a lot. But the guy's everywhere, and he is just the definition of, I think, an entrepreneur who just absolutely has a passion for what he does. So also, through our mutual friend Sean, he had mentioned, I mean, you're just a big supporter of any community that you go into. It seems like you're not just there to like sling sandwiches and make some money. Like, you seem to always want to be involved in the community, and make a difference and an impact in everywhere that you happen to be.
Well, I'm one of those weird thing. I was just thinking about this last night before I went to bed, thinking about, I actually, outside of the value of my company going up in value, I've made less money every single year for like the past like 8 years from the year before. Like I'm going backwards in pay slash whatever it is, because I'm not doing it for the money.
Right.
And obviously, I mean, hey, if you're out there, give me a raise, please. Thank you. And I guess I should be talking to myself. I'm not doing it for the money.
Right.
I go in there when I first got connected with that group, it was to feed people. And I was like, yeah, no, I'll feed you guys. I'll do that. And then they probably realized, oh crap, he actually just wants to feed us. I never asked anybody for any money. Just want to feed people and spread my message of you don't need anybody. You already know, like you don't need even to listen, and I say this all the time on my own podcast, you don't even need to listen to my podcast to get to where you want to get to. We already know what we love to do deep down inside.
Right.
We've probably known it since we were 3. Like ask any 5-year-old what they want to be when they grow up, and they all know. Right. Even if it might seem unrealistic, they still know. And somewhere along the line, we make up that we can't be whatever it is that we wanted to.
Self-talk, right?
And sure, it changes because our values change over time, especially with our experiences. But we all know, and so my message is we all know what we want to do, even today, even if you think you're lost, you already know what you want to do. You just got told by society or your family or your religion or the group of people that you hang out with or even your own self that it's not realistic. And that's my message is you already know, and all you have to do is just follow that stuff. And I guess it's a testament. I had one shop, now I have well over 100. And even though I'm going backwards, say, in pay, my value is still going up.
Yeah, the value of the business is going up. Well, and like you said too, like this is something like you just before we started the show here, you were telling me your travel schedule. I mean, that's not cheap, but you have the resources to go and do it, and you're hanging out with great people. You're spreading that message. I mean, I don't know anybody who doesn't think that feeding people is like not important. That's a pretty critical thing. That's one of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Right. That's like foundational, right? But it's critical, and there are people that don't. There's a food scarcity. I mean, I grew up homeless for a couple of years when I was little, and it was a big deal to get fed. And so I appreciate what it is that you do. Again, for every town and city that your shops are in. That underlying message of self-empowerment, just go for it, and then feeding people, I think is a beautiful thing. So I appreciate you being in Chico. I did want to talk, this is a timely podcast here, I did want to talk, you've got a pretty killer competition coming up right here in Chico at the donut shop. And you want to tell us about that and how people can get involved?
Yeah, so I'm doing the first ever Ike's Donut Eating Competition. The first ever. It's going to be in Chico on the 29th, August 29th, 5 p.m. and up. We're going to have 2 categories, an open category and a female category. It's going to be the fastest to eat a baker's dozen donuts, which if you don't know what that is, it's 13 donuts. And the winner from each category will win free sandwiches for a year.
That's
free Ike sandwiches for a year. And so you can use that free sandwiches for a year card everywhere.
Any of those 100 and some odd
locations. Any of them. You'll have the thing, we'll load you up on your phone so you can order it from whatever, even the people that you're going to order it from. It'll say like, I'm the donut eating champ, so everybody will high five everybody when you go in there and everything. And so we're hoping to make this into an annual event. I got the inspiration from my buddy Joey Chestnut, how he's been kicking everybody's butt and hot dogs for I don't know, 20 years, maybe more. And so we want to do the thing with the donut shop, and we'll rotate around the donut competition. Right now we only have 1 Ike's Donuts, which is in Chico. Lucky everybody here.
Yeah, man.
And hopefully we'll be announcing the 2nd and 3rd donut shop, so we'll rotate it around.
Fair enough. That's cool. So you guys heard that. We'll put a link at the bottom of this, so people can
yeah, if you want to be considered for it, just DM me on Instagram. I guess it's at Ike's Sandwiches. Send me a video of like your passion or your creativity, something like that. But also because we're limiting it, we're not going to have like 100 participants. If you've kicked ass at some other food eating competition, like you have a video of you destroying a big pizza or a burger or whatever, send me that too, because not only do I want the competition to be fun, but I also want it to be like super challenging too. And if you're not a professional eater, you don't have that, we'll still take some of those in there too. Don't worry, Joey's got another event, so he's not going to be able to make this one. So you have a chance to win this one. And if you're not going to eat and you just want to watch, just come and watch. We're going to be giving away T-shirts, free sandwich cards, other prizes that you'll only be able to get at this event. I've got some, like how I have this
That's pretty sweet.
Nightmare Before Ike's shirt. We'll have some other Ike's parody shirts that you'll only be able to get at this event. So come on in and just come and show up and eat or have fun and then eat sandwiches.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. So I'm super stoked. Like, this is, again, guys, this is why I love Chico. Like, somehow we just attract some of the coolest people doing the coolest stuff. And of all the restaurants in the country that you could have put a donut shop in, Chico's the first. So
it's the first, yeah.
There's something magic in the water here in this town. That's why I started this podcast, because I want to remind everybody who lives here just what a cool place that we've got. It's just tucked away a little corner in Northern California. And I love it so much. So we super appreciate having you in town. So on that note, like, what do you have, like, a method to, like, picking a town to put in a shop, or does it just kind of, you wake up one day and you're like, nah, I think Chico's cool?
There's two ways, maybe a little bit more than two ways, but the two main ways I love to choose locations is, one, I call it the hot girl theory. It's because we're a hot concept, landlords are like, please open up a location here, please. I get those DM or emails, I guess these days DMs, I get them every single week, multiple times. Like, hey, come to Arkansas, come to New York, come to New Orleans, come to Denver, all these places. And sometimes it's like Arkansas. I love Arkansas. I've been to Arkansas before, and but it's not really realistic for us at this time. But so it's not really whether or not it's easy for us to open there. We just got an offer in San Diego, and I have lots of locations in San Diego.
Yeah.
So that's one way where people want, and actually that's how Ike's ended up in Chico. The owner of the building really wanted a great place for vegetarians to grab food, because him and some other people in his family were vegetarian.
Sure.
And they basically sent me an email, found my email online, and it's like, hey, I got this place in Chico. So I drove up from San Francisco, which is where I was living, and I saw it, and I was like, wow, that's a pretty good location. So that's the one way, and how we get a lot of our locations. The other one is, where do I like to travel? Because I'm on planes all the time. We're August right now, and I've been on 41 trips, or 41 planes so far. 41 planes in half of a year, a little over half of a year. So for me, it's, okay, if I'm going to be on a lot of planes, where do I want to go? Yeah. And so that's the second way, and actually it's my favorite way. It's like, do I want to open one in Disneyland, or Houston, New York? I like New York, visiting New York. I like visiting Atlanta. I like visiting New Orleans. I love Montana. Mm-hmm. So where do I want to go? And then it's just way easier for me to fit it into my schedule if there's also an Ike's there to hang out at, or pass out food at, or do my passion, which is feeding people.
For sure.
Those two ways.
I love it. That's. I think those are great ways. It's pretty sweet that, I mean, you're, again, another, maybe hats off to you, like, when an owner of a commercial building is like, I want somebody who's going to be successful in my space, they call you. That's, I think, a really good sign. I mean, that's pretty killer. And then you can have that opportunity to say yes or no or whatever. Or eventually, it sounds like, I mean, you could take over the nation and just start kind of building out east if you wanted to, or down south, or if you want to make it to Arkansas, you just go through Texas and Arizona, and all on that corridor there'll be Ike's sandwich shops. That's pretty awesome. We've got a couple of our offices are in Arkansas, so I'm going to highly recommend that you make that a goal at some point.
I like it. I've been there a couple times.
Yeah, it's a neat state.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I think the takeaways here, gang, is follow your passion, follow your dreams, and you can correct me if I'm wrong or add to this, but that, again, I like what I'm trying to do with this show and with this podcast for anybody who watches it, but especially I love this town. I've lived here a very, very long time, and you're speaking my language when, the whole world was telling me, like, Shane, why do you want to be a chiropractor? And now that you're a chiropractor, why are you doing a podcast? And why are you so weird? Like, why are you doing sleep medicine? Why are you doing this stuff? I'm like, well, because I like it. And people need to sleep, and they need to feel better, and health is important. And so anyway, follow your passion. I mean, listen to Ike. Don't listen to me. Listen to Ike. He's done it, and he's doing it. And I just want people to truly follow their dreams. I think this world would be a lot better and happier place if people were to step into the role that they were already made for. And you said it very well. it is already inside of you. You just got to have the courage to open it up and step into that role, and anything's possible. So
yeah, we'll look at it. So speaking,
go ahead.
Because just moving a little bit further on that, if you are out there and you are doing the things that you're already doing, that you already like doing, you're gonna be a genius in that area. Mainly because you're never gonna quit. You're gonna be moving towards something that you like to do, and then. Like when we were driving right today to come here, unfortunately there was an accident, and I had to take a route. What happens in real life is we're driving wherever we're going, like literally with our lives, and then we hit a roadblock and we're like, oh, it's too tough, and we stop.
Quit.
But when you actually are in your car driving and the thing says, oh, you can't go this way, do you just pull over and go, oh my God, what am I going to do? No, you just find another way to get there.
Yeah.
And thing is when you're doing what you love to do, you're always going to find the way to get there.
Yeah.
And then now extrapolate that out. You're going to be creative in that area. You're going to be energized in the area because you want to do it. So nobody has to remind you to do it. You're just going to go out and think about how to do it. I thought about a sandwich in the shower this morning, a new thing that I'm going to make literally today.
That's awesome.
And then if you move that out even a little bit further, you're doing that, and then you're doing that, and I'm doing that, and you're doing that, and if you're doing that, and everybody you came in contact was doing that, we would all be able to relate to each other. We'd be able to also, in our differences, be like, oh, well, cool, that's what you love, but this is what I love. And there wouldn't be actual friction between us.
Right. Agreed.
And we'd all, you make everybody else's life in humanity better when you work on what it is that you love to do.
Right.
Because then you're just going to be in a good mood or in an inspired mood. And when somebody says, oh, your podcast sucks, or your sandwiches suck, or your donuts suck, or whatever it is, you can be like, oh, well, that's fine.
Right.
Instead of getting defensive.
Right. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I had, one of the, I think it was David Meltzer. I was with him at one of their masterminds, and he was saying, by not being who you are meant to be, and again, everybody I think on the inside knows what that is. By not being that, you're robbing yourself and you're robbing those around you of whose lives you could be affecting in a positive way, because you're taking the opportunity of having that experience with you. You know what I mean? And so we're missing out on people not living up to their gifts. So it's not just taking from yourselves, but you're again potentially taking from others, because they're not going to get to see you in that role. And if you're always in this repressed, scared, angry state, not a very fun place to be for you, but also not a very fun place for the rest of us to be around you. So again, we got way off of sandwiches here, but that's again, like Sean told me, Ike's a super interesting guy, and you are, and I love again what you're doing. And for someone like me, or even some of the listeners, my hope is that they'll see, a guy like you just get inspired and be like, you know what? I like carrot cake, and I'm going to be the carrot cake guy or gal. You know what I mean? Just go and do the thing. I think there's too much suppression and repression of dreams, and I think that's why, in part, we have kind of maybe a little more angry and saucy society right now, because I think we just need more people.
Yeah, they're all being pushed up against something. So because we know humans only communicate 7% verbal, 93% of our communication with humans is nonverbal. So if you're going around suppressing whatever, and we're probably all suppressing something right now. I am for sure in some areas of my life.
Sure.
So as you go around suppressing that, but especially if it's your dream, then when you meet other people, you're unconsciously saying, hey, it's okay to suppress your dream. And you're suppressing your dream, you know what, I'm on the same page as you. Because we already know it's nonverbal, our communication.
Sure.
So now imagine if you go around and you're living your dream, and it's it doesn't matter, and you could talk as much crap about me as you want. Unconsciously, even if I don't say those things to you, you're going to be like, you know what? I can go out, and who cares if people talk crap about me? Because the communication is unconscious.
Yeah.
So not only do we, all those things that David said, do we hurt each other by not allowing people to see who we are, we're also telling them, hey, it's okay if you're not who you want to be. And instead, we should make a stand. And the only way to make that stand that, no, you need to be who you want to be, is by you being who you want to be.
Right.
Unconsciously. And if you want to change the world, your well-being is your greatest contribution to humanity.
I love that. Yeah, it's an ownership concept, and it's takes a little courage, but it also, I think, is super liberating and creates a lot of freedom too. And then, like you said, it's kind of creating a domino effect around you. So Good stuff, man. Well, I want to get out there and promote this donut eating contest. I don't know if I'll join it. My nutrition counselor would probably have a fit.
It's only 13 donuts one time.
It's fine. It's fine. Oh, and real quick, are these donuts? Are they like glazed? Are they sprinkly?
So we're gonna give everybody 13 different donuts. Well, everybody's gonna get the same donut, but so it's gonna be 13 different flavors.
Okay.
Like 2 or 3 of them are gonna be like bigger. But for the most part, they're going to be the typical donut with the whole glaze. My favorite one is the butterscotch. If you come into Ike's, make sure you get the butterscotch donut. Get that one. So we'll have a butterscotch, a chocolate, a Homer Simpson one, a glazed one, a maple donut.
Yeah.
And then a couple stuffed ones with custard. We have one that's stuffed with butterscotch pudding, which is actually, that might be my favorite one. I love butterscotch. Is my favorite flavor of all time of any kind of sweet. And so it'll be 13 donuts. Probably 3 of them are big and 10 of them are regular sized donuts. And it's fastest person wins. Worst case scenario is you get a box of donuts for free.
Right.
Best case scenario is you win free sandwiches for a year.
Dude, I love it. I love it so much. All right, well, we're going to promote that as much as we can and get as many people down there with their phones and film this awesome event. And dude, it was really good to meet you in person. This is our first time meeting and hanging out face to face. So I love having you in our town, like I said, and I can't wait to see what else you do here in our town. One last question here, I always try to end the show on this one, is when you're in Chico, what do you do to stay healthy and happy?
Well, one, I walk everywhere.
Okay.
I didn't walk here today. I pulled it up on my phone. It was like an hour and a half walk, so I didn't walk, but I walk everywhere. If I just where I want to eat and I walk. If it's 45 minutes away, if it was an hour away and a half away and I had enough time, I would have walked.
Gotcha.
So I walk everywhere because it's just a beautiful time of the year right now.
Yeah.
And the other thing is I make sure that, because I feel like I'm not here often enough, that I make sure to connect with people. I'll say hi to literally every person I see as I'm walking. Some people think it's weird and some people are like, oh my gosh, are you the sandwich guy? So I do those 3 things. So connection, actual connection, and then moving my body.
Physical
walking.
body. Yeah.
That's specifically what I do in Chico.
Love it. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks again, man. Thanks for bringing yourself here and being on the show. We'll look forward to seeing what you do with the sandwiches and donuts in the future.
Oh, wait, and actually, since we're talking about what I do in Chico, I'm in Chico till the end of the month. So if you want to say what's up, 90% of the time I will be at the store. Come by and say hi. I'm leaving on the 1st. So come anytime between then and come in and come say hi. Even if you just want to say hi, I'll probably buy you a donut. I mean, I don't want to guarantee that, but come on and say hi because I'm here just for a good amount of time. And I'll be back for sure, but for sure I'll be here the next couple weeks.
Okay, sounds good. Well, you heard the man. Come down to the shop, 5 and I, right on the corner, and grab yourself a sandwich and a donut and say hi to Ike.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, man. Really appreciate you.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you for all that you're doing. Appreciate the platform.
Yeah, you got it. All right, thanks for joining us on the Healthy Happy Chico podcast. I'm Dr. Shane Smith. Come join us every week where we explore insightful conversations, expert advice, and practical tips on living your best life.